Coming up on tonight's broadcast, OSU dominates the weekend, remembering a football icon, and rising tensions in the GOP primary race. All that and more right here on the Beaver News.
Good evening and welcome to your Monday night edition of the Beaver News. We are glad to have you with us. I'm Kim Stowell.
And I'm Courtney Cossette.
Many changes occurred over break for the Health and Human Sciences 231 class that all students are required to take. The Daily Barometer reports that the Personal Health Portfolio, a project that was once lengthy and detailed, has been split into two parts, dispersing the workload more than in years past. The class has also added in the use of clickers in hopes that the attendance rates will increase and that students will pay more attention. The changes were put in place by Aaron Driver, an instructor of fitness and wellness leadership, Stacy Kasenchuk, an instructor of public health and human sciences, and Melinda Emily, the HHS Lifetime Fitness Director. The three determined that not only were the students being overworked by the PHPs, but the teaching assistants were as well.
The students of Oregon State University are invited to the Red Dress Fashion Show tomorrow night, Tuesday the 24th at 7 p.m. Doors will be opening at 6:30 p.m. This event is brought to you by Pure Health Advocates and OSU Fashion Organization. The show will be held in the Memorial Union Ballroom and is free of cost.
Joyce Carol Oates, a celebrated author and National Book Award winner, will be receiving Oregon State's inaugural Stone Award for Lifetime Literary Achievement in May, reports the university's website. The award is biennially given to a major American author who has given much dedication to young writers. The award is $20,000, making it one of the largest awards for lifetime literary achievement given out by any university. The event will take place on Thursday, May 10th at the Portland Arts Museum beginning at 7:30 p.m. Oates has written several books in multiple genres, including but not limited to In Rough Country, Blonde, and Black Water. The award was established in 2011 with great appreciation to Patrick Stone, an OSU alumnus.
This Friday, Oregon State University is bringing Bill Bradbury to the LaSalle Stewart Center to speak on climate change and sustainable energy in Oregon. Bradbury served as Oregon's Secretary of State for 10 years and has been in government since 1981. He is a nationally recognized environmental activist and in this presentation brings together the latest science on our changing climate with the realities of its threats to Oregon. Bradbury is scheduled to speak on the impacts of global warming on Oregon's livability, environment, and economy, our increasing energy demands, and how Oregonians are working to solve these problems. This event will start at 7 p.m. in the Austin Auditorium of LaSalle Stewart Center.
Almania, Welcome to Germany, a German comedy and one of the biggest hits in Germany for 2011, will play in downtown Corvallis on February 8th at 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. The show will be held at the Dark Side Cinema located on Southwest 4th Street, reports the university's website. The film is about a Turkish family living in Germany since the late 1960s. The grandfather's announcement of the vacation home he has purchased in Turkey marks the beginning of their journey. The film is being brought to Corvallis by Sebastian Hruski, an assistant professor in German at Oregon State University.
The Beavers were on a roll this weekend with help from our very own number 3 ranked women's gymnastics team as they beat number 13 Arizona on the road Friday night. The Daily Barometer reports that senior All-American Leslie Mack scored 39.4 in the all-around for the second straight week and performed a near-perfect routine on the beam to match her career high with a 9.95. Next up, the Beavers will face number 14th ranked Stanford Friday night at 7 p.m. in Gale Coliseum.
Alexandria Mosley, a senior in engineering at OSU, has been chosen as one of the top 15 engineering students not only in the country but around the world. She's working on a double degree in manufacturing and industrial engineering and plans to graduate next year, reports Gwen Shaw of the Daily Barometer. The director of Women and Minorities in Engineering Programs, Ellen Momsen, said, quote, "She's an excellent student academically and she's participated in several undergraduate research experiences. But I guess the main thing is that she has been the manager of our ambassador program for the last 2 years and has done an outstanding job," end quote. Mosley is rather humble about her success, stating, quote, "I'm not by any means the only kid that should have been on this list." We're taking a short break, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, we have a sports update.
Welcome back to the Beaver News live on KBVR. As such a hot topic issue, it's not difficult to imagine a video decrying religion racking up hits on YouTube. But 22-year-old Jefferson Bethke's video has been viewed 15 million times and liked more than 250,000 times since it was posted on January 10th of this year. CNN reports that Bethke's video is emerging as a symbol for many young evangelical Christians who are calling themselves followers of Jesus, rather than overtly identifying with institutional Christianity. Many of the country's fastest-growing churches are non-denominational. In the video, Bethke talks about what he calls his own spiritual rebirth, saying he went from being a self-righteous religious person to an admittedly deeply broken believer. On the contrary, many religious bloggers echoed that video's criticism on Bethke, alleging he's trumpeting tenets of Christianity while purporting to blast organized religion. Critics called Bethke's take on religion overly simplistic and dangerous.
The recent flooding has had a very unfortunate effect on some residents' well systems. Oregon State University is reporting that the flooding can contaminate the wells, making the water very unsafe to ingest. Some warning signs include sediment, cloudiness, off smells, or excessive puddling near the well. The water should also be absolutely clear. Some contaminants can include bacteria, sediments, heavy metals, oils, fertilizers, pesticides, and more. Deeper wells are less at risk, while wells that are more than 10 years old or less than 50 feet deep are more likely to be contaminated. If water must be used before it is tested for contamination, it should be boiled for 1 minute, then add 8 drops of unscented bleach to each gallon of water. Allow the water to sit about 30 minutes before using it.
While we were dealing with flooding over the weekend, severe storms this morning swept across the southeast, causing many injuries and 2 deaths. CNN is reporting that the 2 fatalities were near Birmingham, Alabama. Jefferson County Sheriff Sergeant Jack Self lists one as a 16-year-old female in the city of Clay, and the second was an 82-year-old man in the Oak Grove community west of Birmingham. Self also told CNN that at least 100 injuries were reported, from cuts and bruises to broken bones. Several homes were destroyed.
For Heather Taylor, a 26-year-old battling breast cancer, her wedding day arrived at a very unexpected place and time, according to CNN. Her wedding took place in the ICU of St. Anthony's Hospital. She was diagnosed at the age of 25, and the cancer has only spread since then to her brain and spinal fluid. Accompanied by family, including her son, Taylor married her fiancé, Jimmy New. The newlyweds are now facing the continuing battle of her cancer.
Students and faculty of Penn State braved freezing temperatures as they held a candlelight vigil late Sunday night in honor of former football coach Joe Paterno. Holding candles, they locked arms and sung the school's anthem to say goodbye. The iconic football coach died Sunday night at the Pennsylvania State College Hospital at the age of 85. CNN reports that he had been suffering from lung cancer and had recently broken his pelvis. Paterno was fired in November amid outrage over the handling of accusations against former defensive coordinator Jerry Sandusky. But several of those who gathered at the statue Sunday remembered Paterno as a unifying presence both at the university and in State College. We are heading into our final break of the evening, but we will have more of your national and international stories when we return. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Beaver News right here on Channel 26. The USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier moved through the Strait of Hormuz Sunday without incident despite the recent threats from Iran, reports CNN. After the USS John Stennis left the Persian Gulf and headed back to the Western Pacific, Iranian officials warned the United States not to send in another carrier. Brigadier General Ahmad Vahadi said, quote, "We have always stated that there is no need for the forces belonging to the countries beyond this region to have a presence in the Persian Gulf." Their presence does nothing but create mayhem, and we never wanted them to be present in the Persian Gulf." End quote. The U.S. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has responded by threatening to respond if Iran attempts to shut down traffic.
Mitt Romney ramped up his criticism of Newt Gingrich today, calling the former House Speaker a Washington insider lobbyist, questioning his leadership and demanding he release records tied to both a previous ethics investigation and work done for housing giant Freddie Mac. CNN reports Romney also demanded Gingrich return roughly $1.6 million earned from a contract with Freddie Mac and ridiculed Gingrich's insistence that the work amounted to little more than strategic advice as opposed to lobbying. Romney's critique of his resurgent GOP rival was part of an effort to stop momentum from Gingrich's win in Saturday's South Carolina primary. The former Massachusetts governor is expected to continue his new offensive in tonight's Republican presidential debate and throughout the run-up to the January 31st Florida primary.
A suspected U.S. drone fired 2 missiles at a vehicle in Pakistan on Monday, killing at least 4 suspected militants. It was followed by a second drone incident that hit a house, but no one was killed in that attack, reports CNN. The strikes took place about 16 miles west of Mir Shansha, one of 7 semi-autonomous tribal districts in northwest Pakistan. This event marks the 3rd known drone attack this year in Pakistan. It is expected that the drone strikes will continue, but not as frequently as in the past when the United States was striking targets almost every 3rd day.
A 9-year-old girl outsmarted her kidnapper late last week and says she gets her fight from her daddy. CNN reports that last Thursday, a 9-year-old Colorado girl went missing after being abducted when she was on her way home from school. Police believe that the alleged kidnapper, Jose Garcia, and the little girl got into a car accident on the way to the convenience store. The girl walked into the store followed by the kidnapper and asked to use the phone to call her uncle. Instead, she dialed 911 and told her kidnapper, quote, "I ain't going nowhere with you. I'm going to wait right here for my mama," end quote. Police believe that Garcia is responsible for a previous abduction of a little girl from the same neighborhood. He is now in police custody. Before we wrap up this evening's broadcast, we are going to take a look at athletics with Joe Hedberg.
Thanks, Courtney. It was a huge weekend all around for Beaver athletics, with the Oregon State men's basketball team's sweep of the Los Angeles schools beating UCLA 87-84 and crushing the USC Trojans on Saturday by a score of 78-59. They will see action again on Sunday, January 29th, when they face the Oregon Ducks down in Eugene. The Oregon State women's basketball team also prevailed against the USC Trojans over the weekend, beating them in overtime 65-61. They return to Corvallis to face off against the Ducks on the 28th. So let's be sure to get out there and support our Lady Beavers basketball team and Phil Gill. In other sporting news, Oregon State wrestling coach Jim Zielinski secured his 200th career win during his 15-year tenure here at the university. The number 17 Beavers outlasted North Dakota State, winning the match 20-13. Way to go, Coach. It's not too early to start counting down the days until Beaver football starts again. Cornerback Tyler Hasley, a 6-foot, 180-pound, 3-star athlete from Bellevue, Washington, has verbally committed to playing for the Beavers. He's the 14th ranked prospect in Washington and runs a 40-yard dash in 4.5 seconds. Finally, in the world of professional sports, the Super Bowl 46 matchup has been decided after rigorous play in the AFC and NFC Conference Championship games. It will be the New England Patriots versus the New York Giants. A rematch from Super Bowl 42, when the Giants ended New England's attempt at a perfect season as they tried to go 19-0. A perfect season hasn't been accomplished since the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
That's all the news we have for you tonight, but be sure to tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock for more of your Beaver news coverage, right here on KBVR. What was that? Okay. Well,